Just video me.
Mm-hmm.
And just keep me centered. I started documenting all this, and I'd like a full semester. Here it is. All right, let's just turn this on. Okay, so this is the way I break it down. This is the basis of conceptology. I've gotten on the mental side of things. We call it concept. Right? Concept. Now, taking inventory, what do? We take inventory of what?
All the elements in the
All
image.
the elements on the page. For lack of some people call them symbols, some, you can call them whatever, elements. I call them cliches. Because it gives us something to follow. They're little pieces of information, right? Then we take all the inventories of the cliches and they build, what do they build? What's the biggest one?
Context.
Context. And then there's usually a little point of focus. What's that called?
Hero.
Huh?
The hero.
Call it the hero, but what are we looking for? Context and what?
Contrast.
Contrast. That's simply on the concept side of things. Then on the other side, we have execution. And execution can break down into three things. Emotive quality. Actually, qualities. Emotive qualities. What are emotive qualities? Do you guys see? What are the emotive qualities here? Like I said, this one doesn't have a lot of concept. There's no contrast here. Everything acts with the context. So the weight of the piece is on the execution. What are the emotive qualities?
Like the emotion.
How it makes you
What it makes
feel.
you feel.
How it makes you feel.
Makes you remember being a child and eating pop.
Mm-hmm. Notice that the brushwork is very soft. There's nothing harsh. Everything is beautiful, right? So this is a very romantic cover, yes?
Mm-hmm.
It is done that way on purpose. So we have emotive qualities. Whereas this one's another one where execution is all. Wait, this is weird. Trying to do it that way. This one, what are the emotive qualities? How does it feel?
Dark, mysterious.
Does it feel mysterious?
Yeah, kind of classy.
Does it feel clean?
Mm-hmm.
Does it feel crisp?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it feels classy.
Yeah.
What are some of the, where are we getting that? Where do you think classy's coming in?
I think the lipstick and the hat.
The nails, everything looks very hygienic.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got emotive qualities. Those are the emotive qualities. And how did they achieve that?
By focusing on those parts.
And everything, is there any gradation of color? That's all very flat, isn't it? And the values are very clean, like there's no gradation. It's just like, it's either on or off. Those are the kinds of things that in this execution that lend itself to feel that way, right? So we've got emotive quality, and they have quality of message. Quality of message also has, like execution is all about feeling. Concept is all about thinking. Does that make sense to everybody?
Mm-hmm.
So you've got the rational mind here at play. If we introduce contrast, that means we're giving the mind something to chew on, something that doesn't make sense at first, but then, all of a sudden there's meaning. Whereas on the execution side, it's all about how we feel when we look at it. And both of those things play hand in hand. So when concept is low, execution needs to be high. But when it's reversed, when concept is high, when we have very high concept, it's actually helpful to pull the execution back a little bit so the idea is allowed to speak. Does that make sense? And these are all the things that we're going to play around with. Like, I don't expect you to get this. I want you to start thinking about it, though. Quality of message. What do you think quality of message is?
How well it's conveyed.
Hmm?
How well it's conveyed.
Oh, well, it's conveyed, kind of.
Yeah, if it's an effective message and it's clear.
Exactly. And more importantly, do you believe it? Like, think about advertising anymore. I think there's a product out right now, and it's all about car. I think I didn't have to pay for my new engine because I paid this company $20 a month. Do you believe that?
No.
I don't believe that for a minute.
No.
And then something we'll talk a lot about in this class. Production technique. What is production technique?
How well you execute your poster.
How well, and actually how you do it. Like, look at that poster up there. How is that produced?
Is that like a screen print or?
Huh? It's a letterpress, right? So we've got lithograph, we've got screen printing, we've got letterpress, we've got wood block, we've got spray paint, we've got pen and ink, we've got whatever. There's tons of different, production technique plays along with it. How do you think this piece was produced?
In Illustrator?
Probably an illustrator. Or probably with somebody with some gouache who knew what they were doing. How do you think this one was produced?
Is it a painting or is it a photograph?
It's a painting. So this is how all this stuff plays in, right? So where we put in contrast, do you notice how now, under execution, we have visual contrast and intellectual contrast? Right? And visual contrast is all about feeling. Intellectual contrast is all about thinking. Does that make sense? Cool, Matthew, thank you. That's probably enough. I'm gonna record. Thank you, sir.